Hey, Jimmy Valentine, that was a really great game-winning score you had there at the sporting event.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate that. You can look for that card really soon at Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. They got tons of sports memorabilia.
Jimmy Valentine, RKO Radio News. Jimmy, what makes Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics your favorite comic store in the Colorado area?
I'm telling you, forget about it. A comic collector like me, I can save 20% on a hold slot. Duh. Plus, it's hard for me. I'm on the road all the time. If I want the Amazing Spider-Man and I'm not around, it's in my hold slot.
Jimmy Valentine, what do you have to say about your recent allegations about steroid use?
I'm not going to answer that question, but I am going to tell you that if I want to get Magic the Gathering cards, I go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. The little square Jimmy Jr., he loves those. So go to 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Nevada, Colorado. They'll take really good care of you.
Hold on, Jimmy, one more question. Wait,
Jimmy.
no, don't go yet.
Does this sound familiar? You're interested in purchasing that new action figure, but aren't sure if it's worth it?
Well, come check out PlasticExplosion.com, where you can go to find all the latest and greatest action figure previews and reviews.
Every week they'll be bringing you reviews and picks from your favorite collections, such as
DC Universe, Masters of the Universe Classics, Marvel Universe,
Star Wars, Transformers,
and many more.
Come check us out at PlasticExplosion.com. That's PlasticExplosion.com.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smokin' Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
Welcome to the cockiest podcast in the land. I am Ryan. To my left is
Brad.
To my right is
James.
And we are the Real Nerds. This week, we're back to our normal schedule, and we saw Texas Chainsaw 3D.
We did.
To stay tuned on how we felt about that, you're going to have to wait till the end of the podcast. I was waiting for you guys to say something, but you guys didn't.
No,
say
no,
anything.
I know. No. Nope.
Yeah, so, hey, I hope you listened to our year-end spectacular, Film Explosion 2012.
It's
Brad
pretty good.
did a great job editing it.
Thank you.
I was talking to James that I loved the Zelda treasure chest that you always do, and that you time it just right. And because you also said it took you so long to edit it. And I was like, well, yeah, he's timing a chest opening and the prize being revealed, whether it be, the bow and arrow or the boomerang, and it's just dun 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 dun.
How long did it actually take you to edit that thing? Because you left here and then you didn't get it done till 11 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, I did fall asleep in between it.
Oh, okay.
I was actually
good.
I kind of had to listen to it twice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took me a while. I started when I got home, probably 1 or 2, and then around 5 or 6 I passed out, and then woke up and finished the rest of it, and had to re-listen to things. I wasn't sure if I missed anything.
Yeah.
And I had that kind of lucid awakeness where, yeah.
Well, especially if you were
I think I skipped over two rounds of something before I started working on the next one, thinking oh no, I skipped 7 and 8. Yeah, it was not a fun edit.
That's dedication though.
But it got up and close enough.
Yeah, no, it's
to where people were able to get it on sort of time.
No, it's good. And
yeah.
The episode is really good, if I must say so myself.
Yeah.
Listening to it, I had fun.
We were listening to it in the car last week, and I couldn't help myself but laugh quite a bit.
Is that bad that we think we're funny? Does anybody else think we're funny?
Yeah.
It's very
I think it's
egocentric of
horrible.
us, I guess.
My brother did say that my brother's birthday, Steve's birthday, was on Saturday, and he says he's listening to 3 or 4 episodes a day, and he's cracking up. So that's a good thing, and he wants to be on the show, so he might be on next week when we see Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for my brother.
Which we're pretty sure is the movie we're seeing next week.
Yes. Pretty
One way or
sure.
another.
Yeah, my wife was going to kick Brad's ass. We got a new fucking coffee table.
It's awesome. It's like Norse. There's giant pieces of steel on it. It's made of like driftwood.
Wait, why is my ass going to get kicked?
Oh, yeah,
because
sorry,
Laura doesn't want you to ruin the coffee table
by putting your
tea on not a coaster.
You used a coaster.
Yeah,
and I mean, this is Colorado, so it does not make a difference, but it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, and so the story behind this is Laura really wanted this, and I went to World Market, and this is the thing. I know how to build things. I know how to use tools, but I fucking hate doing it. So I try to get out of it as much as I can, and I didn't know what the table looked like. She just told me it looked like a treasure chest, kind of.
What?
So I with the straps on it.
I guess, yeah.
So I went there, and I was looking through the World Market, and of course I stopped by the candy aisle first. If you guys ever been to the World Market, their candy's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I found it, and I told the lady, I'm like, I want that one my wife likes. No, this is really what happened.
Yeah,
I said, my wife wants this one, and she said, do you want it? And I said, does it matter? And she just laughed. And so they came up to me, and they said, we don't have any more, but you can take the one on the floor if you want it.
Oh, heck yeah, you get 10% off?
No, but it was already marked down 50%.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. So she's like, if you can fit it in your car, I was like, done, sold. So I brought it in, and I told Laura how hard it was to make the table. And
it looks like a door that fell out of Middle Earth, and then you threw legs on it.
Yeah,
exactly.
But looking at the table, I don't think it'd actually be that hard to build. It looks like it's just really legs. I'm sure this
the iron would be hard to bend on your own.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you have to superheat that iron and then wrap it around the edges of the table.
And then I'd hit it, and sparks would be flying. And you guys were like, "What are you doing?" I'd be blacksmithing.
Oh man, it's a nice table. So good job not fucking it up, Brad.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Anyways, if you've never listened to our podcast, what we do is every week we go see a movie, we broadcast it to the world. There are several ways you can communicate with us. You can send us a tweet, real_nerds. You can email us directly, realnerds@gmail.com. You can leave a message on our Facebook page, Real Nerds Podcast. Go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com, and leave it, and we can find it. So, like we do every week, we start the show with fan mail.
Fan mail!
We got quite a bit, and I'm actually going to catch up from last week, too. Remember, I teased everybody that Cora sent us an email last week, and now I'm gonna drop this email on you guys. Are you ready for it to be dropped?
Do it.
Yeah.
Is it so cool that I try to sound like I'm cool, but I'm not cool at all?
Yeah, it's really cool. Go ahead.
Anyways, Cora says, "Hi, boys. So firstly, Ryan, you really are a creeper." 2 weeks ago, I commented that I liked her profile picture, but she says thanks for the profile picture.
It was creepy.
That's not creepy if you tell someone you like a picture of them.
If you don't really know them, yeah. Like I've been watching you.
How early in the morning was it?
I found you on the internet.
Or she sends me emails and her
you
picture
wearing?
comes with it, and it's like, oh, that's a nice picture.
Oh,
of her.
that's true. All right, never mind. I take
Yeah,
it back.
you guys are just fucking dicks, man. I'm trying to be nice, making people feel good. I like her profile picture. I'm like, oh, you look nice. And you guys are like, oh, you creeper, take your dick out of that glory hole. I'm like, there's no glory hole, and I'm not sticking my dick in it. And you guys just keep on going like I'm sticking a dick in a glory hole.
No, I just spend a lot of time,
with your dick in a glory hole.
No,
That's
just
fucked
staring
up.
at Facebook pictures. So I just assume that's what you were doing.
Well, you never know. Secondly, seriously, you haven't seen The Room. Even I've seen it, and I don't watch that crazy shit, and that is some crazy shit.
Good news. Couple Thursdays from now. Or, wait, what? Fridays?
Couple Fridays, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get a chance to see it this month.
Oh, cool. I won't be there.
I'll be there. Brad, you and I. We'll
Hell
hit it
yeah.
up.
Cool. And you guys can tell me about how shitty your experience was.
Dude,
Oh,
I'm gonna buy that Blu-ray and then make you watch it.
How are you going to make me watch it? You going to tie me down?
Yeah, you keep going.
I'm going to bring it over, and I'm going to put it in your Spider-Man Blu-ray case.
Are you going to put a new label on the Spider-Man
I will.
disc?
I can do it. I'll
I know
print out
you
a
can.
convincing
I'll be like,
Spider-Man label.
"Fuck."
You'll put it in and like, I'm too lazy to change it.
He'll watch the entire movie going, when does Spider-Man show
Yeah.
up? I don't remember this movie very well.
James and Brad, I'll give you both $1 at Denver Comic Con. I'll be buying tickets for Michael and I for all 3 days after I get my next paycheck.
$1.
Sweet, I just made $1.
Why does she owe us
I don't
$1?
remember. It must have been something we said at in a couple podcasts ago.
Maybe I offered to pay her $1 to come to Comic-Con.
Maybe it's a RoboCop
No,
reference.
it's the other way.
Because she would buy that for $1. I don't.
So, Cora, we're too stupid to remember what we even said.
Yeah, I don't listen to the podcast.
Thirdly, Les Mis. Holy crap. So I'll try to write this spoiler-free. I have never seen, read, or heard any production of this story. I had a general idea of what was going on, but every twist was new to me. I was not sold from the beginning. I felt myself being pulled out of the story by how forced some of it seemed, and then having a nice little internal dialogue of how you would feel about the movie at particular moments.
Yeah.
But by the third act, hey, Cora, stay tuned. Me and James will talk about it. But by the third act, I finally got it. As I have stated before, I love love, and it took the love between Cosette and Marius, I think that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Marius.
Yeah.
And subsequently, Jean Valjean's fatherly love for her to finally get me caught up in the story and move to tears. Marius's rendition of Empty Chairs at Empty Tables did it. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's the
song.
most powerful moment in the film.
I was screaming like I would have expected myself to be doing during I Dreamed a Dream, which was too much Anne Hathaway, not enough of Fantine.
Amen.
Yes, this was motivated by thoughts of empty spaces at Chris Tables in Connecticut. But anyways, the movie seems like it was a grand undertaking and possibly was done as well as they could have done it. Maybe. My audience, once they all calmed down and stopped being assholes, see tweet, was emotionally moved as a whole enriching experience as well. Even I thought this one fell a little short. It's still theater worthy. Bring on Django in 2013. Sure. If you'd like to hear what me and James feel about Les Miserables, stay tuned for what we've been watching.
Yeah.
Cool. So
what else do we get?
We also got Dan sent us a tweet because we have mentioned a couple times that, hey, if we don't know what we're talking about, say something to us. And he says, "Greetings. You seem to have once again totally misrepresented and misunderstood Twilight. To say the following, the source material is an insult to fans is a contradiction in terms. The non-confrontational confrontation in Breaking Dawn was no more of a fan disservice than Uncle Ben being killed in Amazing Spider-Man."
I don't think that's exactly what we said.
That was a tweet?
No, he said tweet, but he means email.
Email. Did I say tweet?
Yeah. It's like that's more than 147
I think what we were
characters.
saying was that the whether it's to the book or not, the whole thing of doing an action sequence at the end and spending 20 minutes on stuff and having these emotional character moments where like fathers die and stuff like that, and then rewinding it, saying it never happened, and then having everyone walk away is an offensive thing to do to audiences when you're telling a story. That's what I was saying. Maybe we said it wrong or whatever, but
sometimes we don't phrase things correctly.
Yeah, if it is sticking to the book, fine. There's plenty of stuff that's offensive and stupid in those books. But
digging himself
and I would
deeper.
I would hope that they do a good job and at least pay service to the fans of this stuff. It's just that ending, which as I've been told is not actually in the book, where we don't see that fight scene. Adding that in is really dumb. And they only add it in because they know that without it they have a boring film. So,
as Cora pointed out to you previously, Breaking Dawn was modeled on The Merchant of Venice. So the anticlimactic ending was the point and to be expected. If anything, the vision was an extra piece of fan service that gave the fans fight matchups that they've wanted to see but are not in the novels.
I get his argument there. That's not bad.
Okay. Secondly, Bella's pregnancy did have consequences. Bella died during childbirth and had to be saved by being turned. Additionally, the pregnancy divided both the Cullen family and the Wolf Pack. And Jacob's imprinting on Renaissance ended up forming. I always hate reading that, and I hate saying.
I hate hearing
name.
the name. It's
ended up forming new and stronger lines between the Cullens and the Wolves. Consequences can be both good and bad, and it would seem that you're expecting a level of darkness in Twilight that shouldn't be expected from this type of fantasy romance.
No.
I will say this, and I guess Dan and Cora, I appreciate everything you've sent on Twilight. It's something I'll never understand.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's something I just will never get it. So
not every movie's for everybody.
Yeah, and that's fine. And so I really appreciate him taking time and trying to explain it to me. But to each their own. On another matter, while I can't fault you including Skyfall in your top 10, Brad, because it's a solid action film.
Directed me, huh?
Yeah, you're the one who had it in the top 10, right?
Right.
I couldn't include it because I believe that the film was a step in the wrong direction. Casino and Quantum really captured something and set a new style and tone for James Bond. And after having watched the entire Bond franchise recently, Skyfall seems like a return to the puns and stereotypes of the Moore era that made the series a joke.
Yep.
Additionally, in general, I disliked where the film went. I don't want to see an aging and out of shape Bond. And I was completely unsympathetic to M. Furthermore, I am one of the few who are not fans of Javier Bardem. I do not find his character all that interesting. In fact, it was a little more than a rip-off of Sean Bean's character from GoldenEye, MI6 agent, etc., etc. The Bond series is at a tipping point where it can either go back to doing what it's always done or keep trying to be innovative and tenacious. Regards, Dan.
Yeah, I see his point on that one. Like,
absolutely.
The allure of Casino Royale was that they were, I guess, going in more of a Bourne direction.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that what they do in Skyfall means that they can never do that, and that they can never tell interesting stories and have, more cerebral villains again. It's more that some of those old tropes are coming back, and I think they do a good job of reintroducing them, but it's not going to work for everybody. He's right.
Yeah.
And there were some of them that
it's a matter of taste. Like, you pointed out that one line in it that drives you nuts when they're in the shower.
Oh gosh, I
hate
that line.
One of those where they probably go a little too far in that old direction.
Yeah.
But I don't mind a blend of it because having those lines are part of the James Bond legacy.
I think so too.
So there's a set of fans who are like don't like the Craig Bonds because they're too like not
right
in that direction. So there's going to be one side and the other side all the time, and I feel like Skyfall is a good blend of the two, and eventually it's going to have to go back because eventually that style, the Bourne style, would get boring. So for a lot of people,
I think the thing that about them introducing that stuff that excites me the most is that last scene when he goes into that office with the more traditional, M office, because what these movies have lacked is that sort of classiness, that sort of like real nice spy universe where everybody's in good suits and drinking really nice liquor. That like this, like a Mad Men version of Spies, that we don't get that anywhere else. And so I think that aspect of it I'm really looking forward to. I don't need a lot of like womanizing and the bad puns. I don't need that back. I don't need guys with like diamonds embedded in their face. Like, that's all stupid.
And these movies have also been sort of an origin story too. So eventually they were going to weave back into
right,
the existing movies, and that's how they chose to do it. So
yeah. But I can see where he's coming from for sure.
They were never supposed to be a complete revisionist thing. They were supposed to be like Bond's origins and how he gets to be the suave, spy that he is. So it would have been nice to see like different takes, and who knows, maybe they do have other ideas down the road that could change it up a bit. We'll see.
I don't know how he doesn't sympathize with M. It's Judi Dench. I mean, come on, nobody wants. No, come on.
Hope she's in the next one.
And I think there's other Bond movies where like his spy buddy is terrorizing him or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Definitely GoldenEye is the one that stands out, but I haven't seen the old ones in a while. But I think
to be honest, they've had so many villains in those movies that at a certain point you got to start rehashing them. It's going to be like, well, what if this guy has a little dog he carries around with him all the time? Come on.
James Bond's pet dog turns against him in Dog Bite. I don't know.
It's actually a space raccoon. That's what it's going to be.
We got another email from Cora. She says you don't have to read it on the show.
Thanks for writing in, by the way,
Too
Dan.
bad. Thank you, Dan. I love his emails. Even when they are yelling at us for not liking Twilight, I love it when he writes in.
He's probably just disagreeing.
And she says you don't have to read this, but she mentions that an invitation to be on the show. Cora, if you're ever in Denver on a Friday night, you're more than welcome to be on our show. In fact, we welcome it, which I already said. We also got a tweet from Megan Sullivan, who is a sister of Alex, and she just said, thanks for sharing my dad's letter. If you want to read an awesome letter that her father wrote about the reopening of the movie theater in Aurora, go to Denver Post and just search it, and it will move you to tears. We also got a tweet from Kelly in Connecticut, who is a costume designer on The Battery. She said it was a great interview we did with Rafael Ruiz, who directed A Quiet Girl's Guide to Violence. Bam! And
nailed it.
Nailed it.
Oh, yeah, good job.
And then it's really funny because she says a great interview. She's basically telling people to listen to it. She says, "Give it an ear. Raphael can talk and talk and talk, but he knows what he's talking about," which is true. He has great stories and he knows a lot. And then Raphael replied, he said, "Oh, you lovely woman. Now let me tell you something." So that's fun.
like
That's
people.
fun. Thanks, guys, for having a little fun conversation on our Twitter page. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who sent us mail this week and one last week. We really appreciate it. I appreciate everything you send. It's lots of fun because it's like we know you, even if we haven't met so far away. Back to the normal show, guys. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is stuff we've been watching.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
My show, I go first.
Okay.
How does this work again?
I
I forgot.
I know, right? See, it sounds like
It's been a
long
week.
time.
It's really weird. Yeah.
This week you guys mentioned you were tired of movies. This week I was tired of being tired of work.
Whoa.
wasn't-
We never get sick of movies.
I wasn't tired
We're
of
the real
movies.
nerds.
I was tired of 2012. That's what I was tired of. But yeah.
You know, it took all day, 8 hours of me just sitting in bed to write my wrap-up blog.
Did it really?
I still haven't finished mine.
It was,
As you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I haven't even started mine because I think my wife threw away my list with the rankings on them. So
Well, maybe you'll have to do something reasonable, like only 20 or 20.
nah, I gotta keep the streak alive, boys.
Do you actually
Anyways.
rank each of them?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
he goes from very worst movie he saw that year to very best movie he saw that year. It's insane.
And is it Wrong Turn 5 or Sand Sharks this year, boys?
Oh,
Stay tuned this week for
Oh,
Ryan's complete
man.
movie wrap up. Anyways, on Sunday, Laura, my wife, she was at work and I was kind of bored. So we have a Blockbuster up the street, which I have an account to. So, you know, every once in a while I'll go rent a movie because not all movies are available.
And by account, you mean you rip your name out of the yellow pages and walk in there, and then they just give you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I think I remember that's how it works.
Anyways, I got two movies there. I got the first movie I got was Hall Pass, which was a Farrelly Brothers movie from 2 years ago or a year ago. I don't remember. It was all right. There's a really Owen Wilson and Jason Sudeikis star in it, and they play these guys who are given a hall pass by their wives to go out and cheat on them and do whatever they want. And I was expecting something a little more crazy to happen in it, but they really, of course, it was the normal, well, we got this hall pass, let's get ready to go out, and then they don't really do anything, and they're just all big talk. And there's some funny parts. The funniest part is they go to their rich friend's house, and they like break away, and their rich friend takes everybody else into this panic room that has security cameras and audio, and they're making fun of their rich friend, and it was really funny. So if you're bored one night, you can check it out. There's some funny parts in it. Like the pickup line is, "Hey, are you from Ireland? Because my penis is Dublin." The second movie I got was The Conspirator, which is a Robert Redford movie from last year as well, and it's the trial of Mary Surratt, from one of the people who was involved in the Abraham Lincoln assassination. And I said, hey, I've already seen a good Lincoln movie, and it's Robert Redford, and it also has Robin Wright in it. I'm sorry, Robin Wright in it, and James McAvoy. And when I turned on the Blu-ray, a lot of times when you get Blu-rays from Blockbuster, they don't let you skip trailers or ads in them. And this movie was made by the Great American Film Society, I think, if I can remember right. And they said that they harp on historically accurate movies. I mean, they're going to take history and make them historically accurate. So you're basically seeing big budget History Channel reenactments. But what pissed me off about this movie is it wasn't historically accurate at all.
Huh.
At all.
The characters' names were right.
Does Lincoln survive the shooting?
He does not.
Oh, okay.
They have some cool things. Like the thing leading up to the assassination was really suspenseful. If you don't know the history of this assassination, not only was Lincoln a target, but they also were going to kill the vice president and the secretary of state.
Yeah.
The guy who was supposed to kill Andrew Johnson chickened out. The guy who tried to kill the secretary of state was successful in stabbing him. It did not kill him. Who was Norman Reedus, by the way. And so, I don't know. Mary Surratt was defended by 3 people. James McAvoy was the only guy who was in there. They glossed over a lot of what she really did do, which is, I guess they're trying to point out that she was an innocent victim, but I mean, she really wasn't. So the performances are really good. The movie was okay. It just really bothered me because I love history and I kind of pay attention to that stuff.
Well, that's too bad because I never want Robert Redford to make bad. I mean, he has.
I mean, it's not like I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It's just when they preface it by saying, "Oh, we make historically accurate movies," and then you're watching it and you think to yourself, "This isn't really that historically accurate."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Anyways, I also saw. Well, my wife was awesome. I begged for the Indiana Jones Adventures collection on Blu-ray for Christmas, and she got it for me. And I watched the On the Set with Raiders, which, by the way, is amazing if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And then I was going to watch them all, but I decided to watch Temple of Doom because that's the one I haven't seen in the longest. And I love that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
In fact, I might say it's the second best Indiana Jones movie.
No.
Yes.
Okay, what's number one?
Number one's Raiders.
Okay. So you're saying it's better than Last Crusade?
Yeah.
So it's all downhill for you.
I wouldn't say it's downhill. I think it's just plateaued. Because I think Raiders is the Everest, and then then it's Kilimanjaro, and just a little bit below it.
I don't know, man.
Even if I don't know if that's right in the mountain orders, I'm just guessing.
No, I'm pretty sure that Kilimanjaro is not as tall as Everest.
Yeah, I'm not a mountologist, though.
Yeah, a mountologist. That's a great word if it's real.
No, I made it up.
That's awesome. But there's just I forgot the awesome little Indiana Jones moments in it. I love when he wants to go down and get those rocks that they stole from the villagers, and Willie says, "You're going to die for your fortune and fame," and he just turns to her really coldly and says, "Maybe, but not today." And I don't know. I just love there's moments in it, and it is dark, and but I think the movie's good. I don't know why it gets such a bad rap.
It was a huge influence on me as a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I think a lot of it is people who actually saw it when it came out and were just disappointed because it wasn't Raiders. I can see that, and just that tainting the way you see that film.
But even the opening's really good when they're sitting down in the.
I go first, Indy.
Yeah, they're sitting down in the, I don't know, the nightclub in Shanghai, and he's just sitting there talking. And I mean, and what's cool about Indiana Jones as a hero is he kills people and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, that one guy he stabs with a flaming kebab.
Well, that guy just shot his waiter.
Well, yeah, unnecessarily. And I think Short Round's funny in it. And watching it, there's some jokes that are in Family Guy that I'm watching that and I forgot that were in Raiders. I mean, Raiders, Temple of Doom. And I thought the villains were really good in it.
Yeah, he's cool. He's
Mola
a bit
Ram.
more. Yeah, Mola Ram is a bit more like, obviously magical, but because he's not a Nazi. Everybody else is just Nazis. But he
just think it's
actually
a
has like
different movie.
some power. Yeah, it's weird.
And I think the movie's really well done, of course. And
On Blu-ray, how does the climax hold up with the alligators?
I think it looks good.
Yeah,
I mean,
they clean up the matte lines.
some of them, like
of them-
the water coming through the rock still looks kind of meh. But then,
I thought the chase, on the rail car was really good.
Yeah. The
And
rail car
I mean,
sequence
and there's
looks good.
parts when he is getting whipped and stuff, like the reds and stuff. It looks really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the special effects look bad. Like the plane crashing into the mountain looks pretty bad.
Yeah, that one still looks off. That's probably still the worst shot of the film. And there used to be, I think there used to be some bad matte lining around when they dropped that first guy into the fire, and that looks better.
Yeah, it's really cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I love the scene when him and Willie are gonna hook up and they're arguing they're debating back and forth. I think the movie's really cool.
And then he goes in and pushes on the boobs of the statue, and she's like, "Oh yeah."
I'm right here, and stuff like that makes me laugh.
It's still got maybe one of my favorite Harrison Ford lines when they're. It's just because of his delivery, but when the spikes are all coming down and he finally puts his face in that hole and goes, "We are going to die," and just the way he says it is awesome. It's my favorite moment.
I love that moment too because Short Round too. He says, "Stand against the wall. Don't touch anything
right here.
You told me to stand right here. I stand right here, Dr. Jones."
Oh man!
And the whole scene too. I forgot how clever the scene is when they're playing poker, and Willie keeps on pulling varmints or creatures out, and he says the problem with her is all the screaming and
all the noise.
And he says, "Wait, Dr. Jones, you cheat!" And Indiana says, "You cheat too." He says, "I cheat little, you cheat big."
Yeah,
I love it. I love that movie.
I'm pretty sure that all Asian stereotypes came out of that movie. I don't think anyone was
Did you see the
racist
interview
before
with
that
him?
movie.
Like, he sounds the same now.
No, he I know he does.
But hey, I love Short Round.
I do too. That's cool. Is that all you saw?
No. I also, because we saw Les Mis, and we'll talk about that when I bleed into yours,
Sure.
but because of how I felt after I saw Les Mis, I said, I need to see a good musical. So I, spoilers.
I did the same thing.
I got home and I was just fucking around on Amazon. I saw that The Sound of Music on Blu-ray was on sale for $8. So I ordered it and watching it, and that movie is still really good. And I have a huge crush on Julie Andrews, from Mary Poppins to Sound of Music. It's just a fun movie, and it deals with, the Nazis and things, and and Christopher Plummer is Captain Von Trapp. I did not remember that at all until he showed up on screen, and he still looks the same now, just 45 years younger, and who knew he could sing so well? And there's just so many cute scenes in it. The kids are really funny. It's just a well done movie.
I haven't seen that movie in forever, but I love the sequence in Away We Go where there's the family that they only show the first half and never show the kids the part with the Nazis because that's the way they want them to see the world. Oh, man.
And yeah, it's, of course there's some corny parts in it too, but even the songs that you just take for granted that, doe, a deer, a female deer, like they're so catchy.
Yeah.
That you just love them. Of course, and the movie's really, on Blu-ray, it's fucking beautiful. And I love movies that it's 45 years old, but it looks like it was shot yesterday because it's so beautiful. And Julie Andrews just, man, her I Got Confidence bit where she's running up and dancing. And I love musicals when they're well done. I really do.
Me too.
So I saw The Sound of Music. If you haven't seen it yet, you really should. I also got James for Christmas for me. He knows that I'm a big fan of Return of the Living Dead, which is one of my favorite zombie movies. And when we were talking to Paul Salmon, which you can listen to the interview on Real Nerds Podcast, he mentioned that he was in a documentary called More Brains, which is a documentary about the making of this movie. And, when James gave it to me, like, oh, cool, maybe an hour documentary. This is a 2.5-hour documentary about a low-budget zombie movie.
That's not even 2.5 hours long, right?
No, I think it's 85 minutes, the movie. And it's so cool because, one, this is why I really love this documentary, besides me loving the movie, is they didn't hold any punches back. Like, if they didn't like somebody on there, they told you that they didn't like them. This girl who played Trash, I think was her name in the movie. They're punk rockers. That's her punk rock name.
That's not her Christian name?
She was a stripper, and Dan O'Bannon liked her, so he hired her on the set, and I guess she was always high, and none of the cast liked her because she was a bitch. Ooh. And she was on this documentary, too, and she says, I guess I was pretty bad back then, and they won't pull punches. The first guy who did makeup on there, they had him on, and they had the producer, and he said his makeup was horrible, and they were showing like early makeup tests, and it looked terrible. And so he was on there, and they were talking about how they fired him, and he was
wow.
They go through every stage of this movie, and it's really well done. Even for you can tell it's probably not a big budget documentary, but they have these awesome EC Comics stills going throughout it, and you can tell it's people who really love these movies that made them. So I really respected it, and it's a great gift, James. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And some of the special features is they made a couple sequels, and they did not as in depth documentaries on, but about 30 or 40 minutes each of these sequels that are direct to. Well, the second one was released in theaters, but the third one wasn't, and so they got all these people who played in those to come back on and talk about it. It was really cool.
Wow.
So even if you don't like these kind of movies, it's kind of cool to see a documentary treat the material seriously enough to make it 2.5 hours and take you from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. They even have John Russo, who wrote the original Night of the Living Dead, who wrote the original screenplay for Return of the Living Dead. And it's a really cool documentary, and I recommend everybody check it out. And the last thing I saw was Looper. and it's great.
Which
still.
is great.
And I cried when the little boy Sid makes the dude blow up, and he's crying in the field and he's covered with blood because he's so scared. I think it's a great moment in movies.
Yep.
So that's all I saw, except for Les Miserables. Are we going to talk about that first or last?
Let's talk about Les Miserables.
It's horrible.
So I've never seen Les Miserables. I've never, I got through all the way through high school and never got dragged into a showing of it, and so I had no idea what the story was, and whoa, the earth is shaking. What? Okay, I think it's over. That was weird. So I really didn't know what to expect going into the movie. I love musicals, I really do. But that said, I haven't seen one in the last 10 years that I really enjoyed. Well, I like Sweeney Todd, but still.
Yeah.
I've always said that of the last 25 years, the best musical they've made is South Park, because I think it's true. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't understand the appeal to it because obviously it's in the title, but all these characters are miserable.
Yeah.
And,
but they're also sort of miserably laid out. If I can say it starts with this story, Anne Hathaway's story, Fontaine. She plays this woman who gets fired, and right then I was interested because basically,
you skipped over the part where the redemption of Jean Valjean, which I thought was interesting too. I think
again
it starts really interesting,
and I think that the themes and the story that it's trying to tell are all really good. By the time the movie was over, I thought, man, I kind of want to go read the book. Especially the way that it ends, like that last sort of big metaphor. I was like, dude, that's beautiful. Like whoever thought of that is that's really great writing. But it's the condensing all of that into a play and musical, and then trying to what really feels like shoehorn in music it's nonsense. There's really what amounts to maybe 5 actual songs in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Most of them don't actually reflect anything about the characters. One of them is just about the innkeepers, or the innkeepers who have they're a plot device more than anything else.
Because
they're not even
only
really
thing
characters.
Sacha Baron Cohen and Helen Carter's character is they're in there to break up the tension in the movie, because if they weren't in it, the whole movie would just be depressing.
But they break up the tension at the wrong point.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm interested in that story, and then we have to spend 5 minutes with them singing this stupid song that, again, doesn't really have an impact on the story. The great thing about the old musicals is that the songs that they're singing are really, they're revealing something about their character and the problem that they have, and they're doing it in a lighthearted way, which is why it can be a good way to talk about hard issues.
Yeah, and too, the director made horrible choices where he'd constantly have the camera at 45-degree angles.
Yeah.
And then they'd have these like lavish sets that you could tell, like the set of the square where they had the elephant and the chairs stacked up is big, but he would make these really weird choices where he'd get super close in the actors' faces, so they would be singing like on one side of the frame, and then the other 3/4 of the frame would be out of focus background
and empty.
And
you don't even see the background,
which
so it fails to give you any sense of place. It doesn't make you feel
I
like the world
understand
is
what
real.
he's going for. He wants the performances to be the thing you focus on, but to me it was incredibly distracting.
Yeah. Well, and even like Cora says in her email, it means that sequence where, in that trailer that we were constantly seeing before the theater, where we're watching Anne Hathaway sing her big song, I thought, oh man, that looks really good. And if it had been shot from where it was in the trailer, it probably would have been really good. But instead, it's just shot on her, which means that we're just sitting there staring at Anne Hathaway's face, and we don't see a character anymore. It's really just, wow, this is a really good performance from Anne Hathaway, and that completely ruins the scene.
And even scenes where, it could have some great tension. Russell Crowe, I don't know if it was his acting choice to do it, but he was really stoic and he didn't move that much when he would sing.
I think it's intentional. I think he's
but it's a guy who lives one way, and then Hugh Jackman's character shows him another way to live.
Yeah.
And that's so he kills himself because of it.
Right.
Because Hugh Jackman saved him.
Sort of.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It
doesn't ring true. Partially because the song in quotes, because a lot of the movie they're just singing dialogue. It's not actually songs.
It'd be so weird too because they'd be saying, "Hey, don't go that way."
Yeah, no, exactly. They're not.
It's so annoying.
They're not songs. They're just sung dialogue, and that's not a musical. It's opera, but this is not an opera.
Isn't that kind of Sweeney Todd though?
No. Sweeney Todd has spoken sequences. And when you go back to the old musicals, they have spoken sequences, and some of those spoken sequences are the best things about the movie.
I thought, no.
Oh yeah,
my memory of Sweeney Todd is they like sang every action they were doing, and it was annoying to me.
Oh no.
Don't see Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it really is them just singing,
and it's 3 hours.
It's not catchy. It's not, and when they do have a song that starts being like, oh, here's a nice little bit, things that from the trailer. I was telling Ryan before the podcast, every day this week I've been waking up and having those songs stuck in my head for some reason, but all I remember is the little lick from the trailer. I don't remember like the whole thing from the movie, because there is no whole thing from the movie. Like the little bits in the trailer where I was like, oh, that sounds like that could be a beautiful song. The actress sings that once or twice in a row, and then that's it.
Well, and I a lot of people picked Anne Hathaway's performance, but I thought the one girl who played
yes.
What's her
agree.
name? She's it's her first movie, and she plays...
Oh, man, the cast list is so long. Samantha Barks, she plays... she
plays or something.
Yeah. She plays the badish
That's Zelda's
girl.
horse's name. I mean, Link's horse's name.
Which I guess that's the other reason that the innkeeper's in there is because she's...
Yeah,
but
her song
parents,
where she's singing and the camera's actually tracking her is lit really well.
Yes.
And she sings very well. I think it's the best song in the movie.
Yeah, and she's singing out in this cold, rainy street, and it looks good. Oh, because that's the other one. So there's no dancing or entertainment going on while they sing either, even though in the sequence where Anne Hathaway goes down and she's going to become a prostitute and ruin her life, they've got that really cool set where all the hookers are like coming out of the little things, and and it looks like, oh, this is going to be really cool. Like they're going to sing this song in here and it's really going to be epic, and oh, this is going to be great. No, it's really like two ladies sort of pushing her around singing songs, and they might as well have not costumed most of the people from the waist down. Like that's how poorly shot it is.
Yep. Les Mis is not good. It's shit.
Anyway,
what else do you watch this
after
week?
After that, I really want to watch a good musical, so I went home and watched Guys and Dolls.
Nice.
And I mean, I also, since last we did a podcast, I saw Looper and I resaw Beasts of the Southern Wild and all that stuff. But again, I was sort of tired of 2012 stuff, and so as a way of collecting myself again, I watched Guys and Dolls, which when I was a kid was one of my favorite movies. Like there was a time when there was some kid in the world who on his list of top 5 movies was Guys and Dolls, Crocodile Dundee, and Smokey and the Bandit. Like that is how much I loved Guys and Dolls. There was a day where I was off from school and I cleared all the stuff off my kitchen table and just rolled dice and watched Guys and Dolls because I was weird. Anyway, that movie is fantastic. And I haven't seen it in a long time, and what I appreciated this time is that, and maybe this is because of Les Mis, the sequences that aren't sung are really cool, witty sequences where people are telling fun stories and there's this really good banter and the characters become well developed, so that then when they sing songs, the little intricacies of the things that they're saying and the way that they say them in the song come to light. And you go,
exactly.
oh, okay, he is saying this in the song, but we realize from the things he said and the things he's doing that he means something very different. And that's how musicals function and what makes them really good, because the music becomes dynamic, not just catchy and sad. So anyway, it was a really good way to sort of reboot myself and be like, okay, let's start loving movies again and not just rating them. I also watched Casablanca because for Christmas I got that big, awesome, maybe the most beautiful DVD set I've ever seen version of Casablanca that comes with like a luggage tag.
Is it really the DVD version?
It is only the DVD version because you can't, like, Amazon is sold out of the Blu-ray version. It's really hard to get that copy. Eventually I'll replace it.
I would have waited, man.
Well, I got it for Christmas. My parents got it for me, you jerk.
Your parents should do their homework. Not waste $80.
Wow, Brad calling out parents.
Yeah,
Shit.
take that.
Right. Fine.
Damn.
Anyway,
Just
and
kidding.
here's the thing. Casablanca is never going to look that much better on Blu-ray. It looks really good on DVD. In fact, watching it, I'm going, it's got to be one of the most beautifully shot movies. I never noticed this before. The reason I wanted it for Christmas is it was on TV recently, and I couldn't not keep watching it. Like, it's just the scenes early on where like they're just sitting and having drinks, and it was so engrossing. I had to keep watching it. And what I realized this time is that they did this really cool thing where they clearly, because there's, it's still made during that time when the sets kind of are crummy and fairly sparse and all of that. But they were doing this thing where right behind the camera they'd have a light, and in front of that light they'd have like the cutout of a palm tree. And then that would cast a shadow over the backs of the characters and it made it feel like there was actually stuff behind the camera that we weren't seeing, and that world was so much bigger because we were seeing the shadows of it in the little set that we had. It was so awesome.
Is called a gobo.
Cool.
Yep. Film fact.
Film fact.
I think it's awesome.
I learned in lighting class.
Just in general, the way that he uses shadows and stuff in that movie, it's gorgeous. And how can you not help but love the last 10 minutes of it?
One of the most romantic movies of all time.
It is, dude. I
haven't seen it in years. I don't remember anything about it except the ending.
Oh man, it's good, man. Anyway, that's pretty much all I saw. Oh no, it's not. I'm totally forgetting a huge thing, man. I started watching Homeland, and then I finished an entire season of Homeland. That show is great. Basically, if you haven't seen it, it's about this woman who's a CIA agent, and there's this guy was a POW for 8 years, and he returns from Iraq, and she believes that he is actually a terrorist sleeper agent, and is trying to prove that. And the story of how she does that and sort of her relationship with that guy and with that mystery is great. Claire Danes plays the main character, and she is really amazing. The thing I will say, because people have been telling me to see the show for a long time, and I was hesitant to do so, the thing I will say is that there is more 24-ness in there than you think. I'm not saying it's a balls-to-the-wall action, gotta run
a guy
constantly.
Who hasn't watched 24.
I've seen half of a season, but I'm just saying, like,
it's not enough.
Like I'm just saying that there are explosions in parks and more intrigue and there's snipers out there, we got to stop him. There's more like actiony sort of not adventure stuff, but more action stuff in there than just like this quiet intrigue and trying to like prove that this guy is a terrorist. I've started into season 2, and I'll spoil this one little aspect because I think it shines a light on the thing that I'm afraid of this show doing, which is that in the first season, we find out pretty quickly that while he was a POW, he converted to Islam, and he's praying in his garage, and he's hiding that from the rest of his family. And eventually his daughter finds out, and then his wife finds out. And what I think would have been interesting, because at this point in the show, he's running for office. He's maybe going to be running for vice president even. And I think it would have been more interesting for them to go to a place where they discuss the fact that, like, well, we have to keep this a secret as a family because there is no way you could ever win as vice president if you were actually revealed to be a Muslim. But instead, it goes to this weird place of making the wife out to be really ignorant, and she's like, she doesn't understand anything, and she's not mad because he's lying. She's mad because he's a Muslim or some. It's just weird, and it's the kind of stuff that I was hoping this show would be smarter than. I'm not saying there aren't people like that out there, but I didn't believe that these characters were that, and so it feels very forced. It feels like them lecturing me rather than these characters would actually have those opinions. But that's just one little sliver of meh in a show that I'm really enjoying. So if you haven't seen Homeland, you should check it out. And once I catch up on season 2, then I'll probably talk about it again because it sounds like the second season is awesome. So
cool.
That's everything I've been watching. Brad?
You guys ready to strap in?
Yeah.
Because I finally started watching stuff. And I've got up to 2 weeks full of junk. So let's get the some of the unimportant stuff out of the way. I rewatched Tim and Eric's $1 Billion Movie.
Crap.
Trim!
21 Jump Street, Safety Not Guaranteed.
Great.
Talked about all these before. Star Trek 2009.
Great.
And then part of my goal for this year is to rewatch stuff that I haven't seen in a very long time from the early 2000s, or stuff that I have cast aside as being garbage.
Yeah.
Giving them a second chance. This one's not so much that I thought it was garbage the first time around, but it was like, meh.
Yeah.
And it was called Rat Race. And
Yeah.
my initial interest in it was because Rowan Atkinson is a character in it, and he's barely a character in it.
That's the movie that's like, it's a mad, 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 mad world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
Cuba Gooding Jr. in it.
And
Cuba
Whoopi
Gooding
Goldberg.
Jr., Whoopi Goldberg, Breckin Meyer, Seth
Yeah.
Green.
I remember
just a bunch of ensemble. John Lovitz, John Cleese.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an
I
okay
remember
movie.
liking that movie.
It's
just
basically
okay.
the same plot. The plot is this, group of billionaires create this ruse of, if they invite these people to travel to, I forget what southwestern city it is, either Mexico or New Mexico or Arizona or something.
Yeah.
There's a locker in a town with $2 million in it or something. Whoever gets there first gets it. Puts the key in, you win. And along the way, all these crazy things happen to all these different people as they're competing to get down there. And yeah, that's about it. Like, it's pretty. Probably the edgiest part is that John Lovitz's family goes to like a Nazi museum.
Yes.
Yeah, and they steal the Hitler car, and I forget what happens in the tour of the museum that sparks things off to where they're chasing him. But for the most part, a lot of the humor is pretty tame and slapsticky, and it's made by the Zuckers, who've done like
nice.
basketball, and I think the Naked Gun movies.
Yep.
Is
and
that
they
them
also
too?
did Airplane and
Airplane stuff, yeah. So, and yeah, Rowan Atkinson just plays a foreigner who, like in each of those people, like teams up with another one. I think Whoopi Goldberg like has a estranged daughter or something, but they never really dig too much into their relationship, other than we're mother and daughter and we're teamed up. Not to why I abandoned you or whatnot, or the feelings I've had about that for the past 30 years of my life. And then Seth Green and I forget the other guy's name, but he plays like his brother who just got a tongue ring, so he can't enunciate through most of the movie.
I remember when I was 12 thinking that was funny.
Yeah, and they play like they try to be a bunch of con artists, but they're terrible at it. So yeah, it was as okay as I remember it.
Yeah.
And then I watched Explorers, which is an old 80s kid movie about these three boys in this town who, one is a River Phoenix. He's super genius kid who gets picked on at school a lot. And then there's Ethan Hawke, who is just the regular kid.
Yeah.
And then the third kid is lives like in a broken household where his dad, I think his mom died, and his dad just has like a stripper girlfriend or something that comes over. Sorry, hang on a sec.
Now, did you watch this?
Getting all choked up.
Did you watch this because you remembered this as not being very good and you wanted to revisit it?
I remembered it as being awesome.
Oh, okay.
And I'd say everything up to before they go into space is awesome. The last half where they meet the aliens, and the aliens are pop culture junkies.
Yes.
And there's one guy, which is Robert Picardo from Voyager.
Oh, wow.
The doctor in the alien makeup. And he's just, riffing on all these different, like, I Love Lucy quotes. And,
yeah. It's just, it's like.
And they're just lounging around. And then this, like, the nerdy kid is, like, macking on the female alien. Like, they're kind of.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Almost getting it on. And then the dad alien shows up and it's like, you guys got to split. And then that's, like, the end of the movie. And then they go back to school. And then, Ethan Hawke falls asleep in class. And then they just start flying off into, like, Tron land. I was like, I don't remember this part.
Remember that at all.
At the end of the movie, like, the girl, I think, passes the note to him and says, like, do you like me or something, or I know your secret or whatever it is, because the ship, when they come back, crashes in the lake and it's gone forever.
Right.
And they have to swim out, and she's like off in the distance, like watching it, because I forget what makes her come down to the lake to find them doing this. And then she doesn't like say hi or anything. They just go the separate ways. But yeah, they're in the classroom at the very end of the movie, and I don't know if Ethan Hawke passes out and has a dream sequence, or they unlock some kind of code that relays back to the alien ship, but it pulls them into this like cloud world. And as they're passing over these clouds and they're flying, the kids are like flying in between each other in like horrible green screen. And then the girl's there too, and she grabs Ethan Hawke's hand, and they're flying together. And then below them, as the clouds part, there's like the Tron land, where it's like a circuit board, glowing circuit board with all these. And in the far in the distance, I think, is the alien world. So they don't need the ship anymore. Like they can just, through their minds, teleport
this
into.
This is like a director's cut. You watched something different, right?
It's the Netflix cut.
I don't remember seeing this.
I don't remember that either from like watching as a kid. But
wow,
yeah, like. Most of what I remember is them building the awesome, what was it called? Thunder Road?
Yes.
The Bruce Springsteen song? Yeah. The ship, and the ship's awesome. And
yeah.
Yeah,
it's a really cool design and like a weird idea that's,
And before I watched it, I was like, what is the rest of this movie? And the rest of the movie is the pop culture aliens and them flying across Tron land.
I remembered the pop culture aliens. I did.
Yeah, I didn't.
But
I knew there were aliens in it, but I forget just like how there's a good 30 minutes of them stumbling around this like sewer looking spaceship, and then
because there's like giant spiders in the sewer, right?
Yeah, I think the aliens, like that's their how they move around the ships, even though they can just walk around anyway. I don't know.
You're no.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pretend you never said this. That movie's great.
It hurts
I'm
it for me.
Never gonna watch it again.
So that's Explorers. Not as awesome as I remember it, unfortunately.
Oh.
I also finished watching The Secret of Kells, which is I forget what country it's from. It's Norse, I think. One of those. Yeah. Maybe Norway or something. Sorry. I really should do my research before I do this. I've got like 20 movies to go through. It's an animated film. It's beautiful. The animation's very stylish. It's very unique.
Didn't we talk about this before? Did you fall asleep or something?
Yeah, I didn't finish it.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I don't know if I fell asleep or my attention got turned away because it wasn't that interesting. And I finished it, and I still don't okay, I watched it. Like, every frame of it is arranged like a work of art, but the story-wise, it's just, there's this book, and there's this invading horde of bad invading people, and they're trying to, like, stop a prophecy. I don't know.
Who are you? We're bad invading people.
We're the bad invading people.
Like, they're just constantly stressing out about, like, the horde is coming, and they'll be here in, like, a week or something, and then later on it's like, they're going to be in 3 days. And they're trying to fulfill some kind I was lost. Sorry. I don't know. I also finished watching Fitzwilly because I did fall asleep with that and didn't get back to it. And you should be interested to know that it is scored by a young Johnny Williams.
What?
Yes.
So he's credited as Johnny Williams.
That's right. And
does he wear his hat backwards?
I think this is from 1961
yeah, I just
or something.
An article where they mentioned that.
Yeah.
About him.
At first I was like, well, that seems really like Johnny Williams. Is probably someone else, but listening to the score, I was like, there's a lot of stuff I've heard from a lot of Spielberg movies in it. So it's probably him. Then I think I looked it up and it was confirmed, but
no, it's probably some other guy named John Williams who's just like, fuck, I can't name myself John Williams.
That bastard took it from me.
I guess I'll be the cooler younger brother.
But anyway, to the story part of it, I enjoyed it the second time around because I was able to stay awake, focus on it. There's like this big elaborate end sequence at the like a Macy's of the time. The plan is very very intricate. Like they think it up at the last minute.
I don't know what Fitzwilly is.
Oh, okay. So Fitzwilly, Dick Van Dyke is this guy Fitzwilly. He's the butler. He's the head of like all the servants
explaining this
in a household. The woman,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm explaining to the people at home.
Yeah.
There's this woman. She has no fortune to her name, But Fitzwilly, because this woman adopted her and made him the head of the servants and whatever, he feels obligated to help her out. So this whole time, he's been orchestrating all these thefts with the rest of the servants to maintain some semblance of wealth so that she never finds out that she's poor.
Right.
So, and they're living a good life. Everything's fine, so why mess that up? But then Barbara Feldon shows up. I forget what her job is, but she's doing some kind of... Oh, yeah, she's helping the old woman write a type of dictionary where...
Like a thesaurus?
They write out every different type of spelling for a word, so you can like reverse look it up.
Oh. What?
Yeah. I forget what some of the words were, but...
Like a bad dictionary?
Like, think of... I don't know.
Spelling dictionary?
Yeah, like for people who misspell stuff, like I'm trying to find a word like business. So the word business, they'll think of every weird way you could spell it, and then like link it to the right spelling.
Why would you need one of those?
It's, you know how in school they tell you to go look it up in the dictionary if you don't know how to spell it? Like, how the fuck,
no.
if you can't spell it, are you supposed to find it in the dictionary?
No.
This is how you do it. You write down all the misspelling ways, and then you section them together towards the right one.
I was just born with an immaculate vocabulary, so I don't understand.
Nice.
Anyway, this isn't school, so yeah. Then her being around the house all the time she starts to find out that all the staff are doing all these crimes.
Right.
And then she like falls in love with Dick Van Dyke for some reason, just out of nowhere. I don't know. They hate each other for most of the movie, and then all of a sudden there's a scene where they go to dinner and like they're in love with each other and they want to spend the rest of their lives together.
Yeah.
Yeah, thief with a heart of gold type thing. And at the end, their plan falls through and they orchestrate this huge theft to rectify everything. And it was pretty entertaining.
Cool.
So that's Fitzwilly. I also got a chance to watch Troll 2.
Ooh,
I saw Best Worst movie.
Yeah, okay.
Which made me want to watch Troll 2. And Troll 2 is as bad as they say. It's actually, there's no trolls in it. They're just goblins.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah. I've mostly erased it from my mind. Like,
it's one of those things where
it's
you feel
infamous for being so bad.
Yeah, this family goes on vacation to was it cat? No, it's what's like a timeshare, I guess. And the other family goes to their house for vacation. Which,
what?
Yeah,
that's not a thing.
And
timeshare swap.
Hey, stranger, come live at my house and break my shit. No.
There's some woman who runs, I think, a cult church. I think it was, and if you drink something, you turn into a plant monster, and then the goblins eat you. Yeah.
Is it one of those things where you feel?
And then only the little kid can see his dead grandfather, and the dead grandfather gives him hints on how to defeat the goblins throughout the movie. And then at one point he's real, like he shoots one with a shotgun. I was like typing and then focusing on the movie, and then like, this is stupid. I'm gonna go back, and then like there'd be some weird thing happening. Like, I can't believe I'm watching this, and then I go back. Yeah.
Is it one of those things where you feel like you should just watch Best Worst Movie and then not see Troll 2?
Best Worst Movie is a better movie than Troll 2.
Yeah, but Best Worst Movie also highlights some of the awful things that are in Troll 2. So,
what's your question again?
Well, like, is it really worth seeing Troll 2, or can you just watch Best Worst Movie and know, like, okay, well, there are no it's all about goblins and not trolls, and the guy who made it is a crazy pants, and there's this whole thing about people turning into plants, and yeah. Because I know a lot of those elements because I saw Best Worst Movie.
Yeah, so. you could pretty much, just by watching Best Worst Movie, you can pretty much watch Troll 2.
Yeah.
Like, they cover everything you need, and without the just awful dialogue. And you shouldn't piss on hospitality line makes more sense watching the movie than it does the way they explain it in the documentary.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, shoot.
The context is better, but I definitely see why it would be a fun midnight movie.
Yeah.
Because you could make fun out of a lot of it.
Yeah.
Really easily.
That sounds familiar.
So, I also saw Radioland Murders.
I've never seen that. Is it good?
It's all right. It's a slapsticky goofball. It's it's admirable how much how lovingly they treat the 1920s and 30s radio era.
Yeah.
The murder mystery isn't that satisfying when you find out who it is at the end, because he's
the old guy in a mask.
No.
Okay.
It's
Spoilers.
spoiler alert. The guy in the radio booth who apparently was working with a bunch of the characters in the past, but you never really feel that setup.
Oh,
at least I didn't catch
that's
it
not cool.
And then, everyone's worried about transitioning to television and whatnot. But there's a lot of a lot of character actors in it that are big stars today. A lot of people from Arrested Development. What's it? Who plays George?
Isn't it a Robert Redford film?
No.
No. I don't mean that he's in it. I mean, didn't he make it? Who made it?
I don't think it wasn't like a standout name director.
Huh.
But it's a huge ensemble cast. Like Bobcat Goldthwait's in it, and
Is it in his
Brian Benben's
like
the main character.
face?
Kind of. He's one of the staff writers for the show. And it's very fast paced. It's constantly characters are moving and interacting, and performing slapstick gags, and
It's
people are dying left and right.
Story by George Lucas. That's what I'm thinking of. I knew there was some big name person on there.
That was a George Lucas story?
Story by George Lucas, scripted
Oh.
by 4 other people, but story by George Lucas, yeah.
It was fun, but didn't stick with me.
Yeah.
I watched a movie called Griff the Invisible,
What?
which is a Australian movie
No.
about the lead is a guy from True Blood, but his character,
What? Who? The hunky one?
the one who is the brother of Sookie, sleeps with
okay.
all the chicks.
All right. I know
Yeah.
where we're at now. Yeah.
I
In a
don't.
different turn, he plays a very socially awkward nerd
Huh.
who has a job at a tech company as, I think, shipping processor.
Yeah.
And he is so far removed from reality. He gets picked on by this guy at the job constantly. And then when he goes home, he just takes care of the the block of his neighborhood as Griff the Invisible, his alter ego. And it's cool how a lot of the movie will, it sets it up that he's really he's got a suit of armor and he's skilled at martial arts and has this whole computer set up that allows him to detect criminals and crime going on in the city. And as the movie goes on, you find out that all this is just in his head. It's all fake. He's just got cardboard boxes as computers, and he has a mannequin with a shitty costume over it.
When you said he was taking care of the block he lives on, I thought you meant he was mowing the little green areas and sweeping the sidewalks. And you mean he's being a superhero?
Yeah, he's trying to fight crime. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Whew, man.
You look so bored right now. Sorry. Sorry. I wish I watched more interesting movies. I don't know what to tell you. But I actually really enjoyed this for the fact that part of the other story is that he has this best friend who is kind of taking care of him. They give you the idea that his delusions have gotten him into trouble before. So he's had to help him restart his life in this new shipping job and everything. But the guy won't let go of trying to be a superhero. And then this guy, his friend, is dating this other girl for no other reason other than she's pretty. And this
Is there
girl,
any reason to date a girl?
Nee.
the cool thing is the girl that plays this other girl who is is socially awkward, but not quite as much as Griff. But she plays this version of a girl nerd that you would never see in real life. She is so
It's over the top?
no, it's it's the ideal girl who is totally supportive of this guy's issues, that she's willing to go to great lengths to encourage the delusion.
Oh, okay.
Like I was saying before, the way he sees things as being real that aren't. At one point, she she's also a big science nerd, like down to like the molecular science of things. And her thing is she believes that she can pass through walls. So she'll sit like against the wall for hours trying to find the right moment where she can pass through it. And at one point she finally does. And that's the confusing thing in this movie is by the end they reveal that everything's fake, but she can still actually pass through walls.
What?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
That's
and
weird.
then she makes this cloak for him that so he can actually be invisible. And so it totally has me going that she can do this, and then by the end of the movie, it's just like a poncho that's like got the galaxies spray painted on it. But yeah, the way she constantly encourages him to believe that he's a superhero is like something I would never believe any girl in this world would do. To the lengths that she does it,
Yeah.
and then eventually, like she gets exposed by his friend, like they're talking in the car, and he can hear through the radio that she's like, you know, I don't care, like he needs this, and you know, we live in a world where everything's real, and you know, why can't people leave us alone and believe what we want to believe and stuff, and yeah,
Cool.
I also saw OSS 117, Nest of Spies, which I've talked about the other one on the show. I forget the name of it, but it's Jean Desjardins from The Artist.
Right.
It's another Michel Hanavicius. It's like the French Austin Powers.
Right.
French James Bond spoof. This one, again, was funny. One of the best gags is that he has a buddy in his past that, at the beginning of the movie, told he's died, and he ran a chicken manufacturing business.
Okay.
Chicken slaughterhouse.
It has a chicken manufacturer. Yeah, okay.
I forget the actual name they used in it.
Meat goes in, chickens come out.
Yeah. And then
Meat goes out.
he is sent to replace him as the foreman, but he's through that disguise, he's going to find out what the plan, why the guy was killed and everything. And throughout the movie, he flashes back to when he was hanging out with his buddy, and they flash back to them like playing on the beach, like throwing balls to each other or playing tennis. And the buddy would always like trip and fall into the water or something, and then he would laugh at him, and they'd laugh together. And then by the end of the movie, obviously that guy is not dead; he's the actual villain. So he shows up,
Yeah.
and then the way he remembers is like, "Yeah, you were like a total dick to me. I would fall over, and you just laugh at me while I'm like." That's not how I saw it at all. Yeah, so that's one of the better gags, and just a fun thing.
Is it all in French?
It is all in French.
I'm not gonna
so
watch it.
you have to read
It's for
subtitles.
free on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's for free. Just
Oh, okay.
check it out. It's really funny. I forgot most of the jokes, but I also watched Batman: Mask of the Phantasm,
It's a good one.
and
Yeah.
that's a really good one. And I totally forgot the opening of the movie is it doesn't sound spectacular, but it's amazing because it's like a 3D pan of Gotham City with the score going. And it just like really sets up this moody tone to the whole movie. It's just fantastic.
That's on Netflix, right?
I don't know. I have the
I think
DVD.
it is.
So
I don't remember it being on there.
the fun thing though is
I
the
might have to watch
DVD
it.
is set to autoplay. So when I was watching it at night, and then it would go back to the menu when it was done, like after a minute, it would just start playing the movie again. So like after I fell asleep, all through the night, it was playing the movie over and over again. So I woke up to it, and then I just watched it again because I was too lazy to change it.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
but it's kind of annoying that it's like just kept going and going. And I watched the movie like 3 or 4 times. I also caught Hyde Park on Hudson,
Okay.
which is a recent film from 2012. Saw it at the theater, and it was meh.
Really?
Yeah, it's half historical drama where the King of England comes to America,
Right.
and FDR shows him all these, supports him, tries to give him confidence, like, hey, believe in yourself because you can be a great king. I believe in you. no real reason why. Just to
Yeah.
encourage him. And then meanwhile, was it Laura Linney?
Yep.
Yes.
Is his cousin, like fifth removed cousin or something. She's hangs around him, and like in the first 10 minutes, she finds out that he's into her, and she gives him a hand job in the car
What?
in a field.
Oh.
That dirty dog FDR.
So that was awkward. Yeah, dirty dog FDR.
This
And then
guy
later she
right
finds
down
out
to
that
it.
she's not the special one that he has led her on to believe. Like apparently a lot of FDR servants, he has this house in the countryside that he told her that if you ever want to come here on your own, you're welcome to. It's yours too. And apparently he's told all the girls that because she goes there and then he finds him fucking another girl there.
Is that true? Did he like have a whole bunch of like?
I guess the
servants
premise
jerk
behind
him
this
off?
is that this woman that she plays, when she died, they found a shoebox full of like all her letters to FDR.
Huh.
So I don't know. I didn't read the book that it's
Probably
based
made
on.
him up.
It might have been made up. She could have been like had this
She's-
fantasy that she was
She
writing
a
about,
Crazy woman.
or it was real. Whatever. But that's basically most of the movie is FDR interacting with the King of England and them trading
Getting
trading
jerked off
banter.
in a field.
Getting jerked off the field, and the other half is her moping around while the party's going on, being sad that she wasn't invited,
Weird.
and it was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as good as that trailer looks.
It's short, yeah. It's not like this historical epic that I imagine it would
I
be.
heard a lot of bad things about it.
I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just kind of bland, I mean, Bill Murray's good playing FDR without any use of his legs. It's pretty good acting.
Polio's a bitch.
Yeah. No, there's this really
FDR was really good at.
there's this really nice scene where he's bonding with the king, and in order to make him feel more comfortable, he's like, you feel handicapped with your stutter. Look what I have to deal with. And he like gets up out of the chair and starts like lifting himself across the using the table to support himself to get to his desk and get to his stamp collection and stuff. But it's like, yeah, your stutter sucks, but look what I have to do.
Yeah.
I
Look
fight
how
this
hard it
battle.
is for me to get to my stamp collection.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then finally, I watched K-Pax again.
Is that's one that you are revisiting because you remember it being bad?
No, I really liked that movie
I do too.
back in the day, and I remember it being really long back then. And this time it was really brief for me. And also, I wasn't as focused back then on the message it was trying to convey. I was more focused back then on all the quirky things that Kevin Spacey would do as an alien. But the ending hasn't changed for me. I still can see it as being
Either way.
going either way.
Oh yeah,
I
for
always
sure.
thought that movie was really boring.
I like that movie
Yeah.
a lot.
And the mystery is kind of okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Um,
need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, if you haven't watched K-Pax, it's a story of Kevin Spacey is Prot. He just materializes. He just shows up at the Grand Central Station one day, and he just inadvertently falls into the middle of a crime scene where a woman gets her purse stolen. And because of the way he talks about himself, the police decide he should be arrested. And after a few months, he is taken to a psychiatric ward where he is held and then has to meet with Jeff Bridges, who, between the two of them, Jeff Bridges, my favorite line is like, Jeff Bridges keeps asking him questions, and then they're kind of obvious questions, and then finally Prot says, for an educated individual, I forget Jeff Bridges' character's name, I think it's Mark.
Yeah.
For an educated individual, you sure ask a lot of questions, or like obvious questions or something. And so they get to know each other, and just Prot's observations of certain, and then he's able to, I don't know, it's hard to believe that he's able to, based on what you find out his background being, that he's able to predict that there's this galaxy that he's from, the way that the New York Observatory is able to do the mathematics and line up the graph to find it, and all the,
But the
scientists are like mystified by how can you know this, and
yeah. The sort of heartwarming part of it is just that he then promises that he wants to take somebody with him when he leaves, and then the
That's a
way
beautiful
that he
moment.
sort of touches the lives of the people around him in that.
Oh yeah, another great line is,
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges is saying, "Stop helping these people. That's my job." And he's like, "Well, if it's your job, why haven't you helped them yet?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good.
but
It's a good movie.
yeah, it's a good movie. It's not as great as I remember it. I wasn't as enamored, but I think it's still worth a watch, even though you think it's boring.
Meh.
And
What
then
happens at the end? I forget.
He
Just
disappears.
kidding. It's like Mad Men. Nothing
I
really
can't tell if
happens.
he's catatonic on purpose because he's trying to help everybody because he has nothing else to do in life after what happened, or
Is there no commentary on the DVD?
there is, and I have yet to watch it.
Maybe they'll explain it for you.
Yeah.
think
And
you'd
say
want them
after
to.
the credits, because there's a throwaway scene of Jeff Bridges staring through a telescope at the sky.
Yep.
And then also, one more thing. Todd Margaret, season 2 is on Netflix, and that show's really funny. And unfortunately, they knew they were getting canceled. So the 6th episode is like just ties everything up so fast that it's terrible.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to watch that show.
So what else is the rest of the show? Is that are we done tonight?
Man.
It's box office number time.
Oh yeah.
This is the box office stats.
The Hobbit won again
Yep.
with $31 million.
About 32 million. Yeah.
Followed by Django Unchained and Les Miserables, and also what was the other one?
Parental Guidance.
Parental Guidance came out. The highest grossing Christmas ever, week ever, and it also made the year, and as the highest grossing year, not only in money but also in attendance.
Skyfall also, since we last talked, is now the first Bond movie to break $1 billion.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So lots of good things going on in Hollywood, which means they'll just keep on making hopefully good movies like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I would like to see. Box Office Mojo supplies us with all the box office numbers. Thank you, boxofficemojo.com. Now it's DVD and Blu-ray time.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
What's coming out, James? Something good, I hope.
There's a bunch of stuff this week.
Really?
Yes.
Like what? Because
Dredd?
I didn't see anything. Okay, well,
Dread comes out
Dread's
this
fun.
week.
Dread's all right.
Yeah, I want to see Dread.
At least worth a rental.
Yeah.
Frankenweenie. If
Nope.
you're- Well, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. This is finally Brad's chance to see Frankenweenie. There you go. Do you remember that Nicolas Cage movie Stolen?
No.
Neither does anyone else, but it comes out this week.
I saw the poster in the theater.
Yeah,
but I never
don't
saw it in
remember
theaters.
I don't
Did it
remember
ever come out in
coming
theater?
I don't think so.
I don't think it did.
They're
Not
like,
here.
Fuck that.
Even though it didn't, though, Hit and Run did come out in theaters, which is that Kristen Bell and her boyfriend, what's his name?
Dax
Dax
Shepard.
Shepard.
I wanted to see it.
Yeah, I did too. I don't think it's going to be good, but I want to see
Well,
it.
when it's $1 at Redbox, I'll get it.
There you go.
Hold on,
Um,
quick aside that'll cut out. I keep forgetting to tell you, Kristen Bell's in Safety Not Guaranteed.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And her eyes are perfect.
Time to jerk off to that movie.
Oh, and Aaron Paul's in K-Pax.
Oh, wow.
He's the Jeff Bridges' estranged son.
Huh, I don't remember that. House at the End of the Street, which is that Jennifer Lawrence runs around movie where she like crawls through windows and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got horrible reviews.
Yeah.
It was
Uh,
made like a year ago or something.
It had a horrible poster, man. Compliance, which is that movie where a girl takes her clothes off a lot.
She does it once, and she's topless for a while, but
Yeah, but isn't she like naked the rest of the movie?
no, like they hide.
Oh.
They cleverly hide some of it,
Well,
most of
that's
it.
historically inaccurate. Samsara, which is like that meditation movie from last year, where it's just a lot of pretty shots of stuff. So if you want to see that, people told me to watch that movie. I can't. I know.
Sounds like another Tree of Life. Which
No,
I
I
didn't
think
see.
Tree of Life has more plot than Samsara does. Like Samsara is really just
A big B-roll movie.
Yeah. Well, and I guess it ends up being like about we should be better to
The
the
Life of
earth
Pi?
and stuff.
I did see the trailer at some movie I saw, and it looked beautiful.
Yeah, the images I've seen look like they are well shot.
Yeah.
But there is no story. It is. I mean, there sort of is where they're trying to convince you that we should be better to the earth, but whatever. Who cares about the earth? Game Change, which is that miniseries about like Sarah Palin and crap that
She's
they're going to make
news?
sequels to. Yeah, I don't know. People say it's really good. I have no interest in seeing that. I mean, unless you guys do. You want? No? Okay.
I'm like Julianne Moore.
And
I
then
lived it. I'm good.
I watched it happen. I actually tried not to watch
Train wreck.
And then the third season of Archer comes out this week, which is maybe the best thing out this week. Yeah. So
Nice.
go check that stuff out. And we didn't do one for last week, but the third season of Justified and Looper, technically, came out last week. So if you still haven't picked those up, run, don't walk.
Ola Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, that's DVD and Blu-ray releases.
Unspool real news, James.
It's real news.
Just putting it all on you this week. I decided that's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you are. There's not a lot of stuff to talk about because there's not been a lot of news. A lot of just weird casting news that's not even really news, where they're like, well, so-and-so is not going to be in the Captain America sequel, which is obvious because that character is going to be crazy old and would be
Isn't
acted
she
by...
dead?
Yeah, well, no, she'll...
I think
that
Carter's
character is
dead.
No, she, like, there needs to be a scene where he goes to see her, but she will be, you know...
on life support.
crazy
so.
old, yeah, like, it's not... Anyway.
And he'll bring the shield and accidentally unhook her, and he'll feel really bad about it.
Yeah.
They just deleted that scene.
So the one thing that we should talk about is that in 2 weeks they are going to reopen the Cinemark 16, which is where the shooting after or during the Dark Knight back in July, where unfortunately a bunch of people, amongst them being Alex Sullivan, our friend, was killed. And it's turned into quite a controversy because Cinemark invited all of the family who were touched by this to come and see a movie that night and and they sort of wanted to make it a remembrance ceremony. That's how they've been selling it. And I think a lot of people have taken this as them almost, I don't know, trying to rub their nose in it, or like it's made a bunch of people mad. And unfortunately, I think the only side of this that people are saying, or that the news is covering, is this idea that people are just furious, and maybe the majority of them are. But especially after talking to Tom Sullivan on the show and seeing what he's gone through and all of that, I was furious. I was watching these interviews and I'm going, what are you talking about? Like, why are you mad about this? And what would you rather they do?
Well, so a lot of people would rather just demolish the theater. Yeah,
but then that kid wins one more stupid thing. Like, it's not... Why are we giving that guy any victories? It should be something that we can move on from. We don't need to be afraid of him. He's done. You know. Anyway, all of that said, the next day, Tom Sullivan wrote an article that was published in the Denver Post, which is fantastic, and I think sums up everything about how I feel. And I would assume you guys are pretty much in line with that. That, you know, going to the movies is something that we enjoy and we have fun with, and that's what these people were doing that night. And to try and let this horrible thing get in the way of that seems very disrespectful to the memory of the people who were doing that, you know. And I'm not saying that everybody grieves the same and that everybody should be out there going to see this movie. I understand if that's not something you feel like you can do. But Cinemark is not, I don't think, doing wrong by anybody by opening that up and saying, here's something we're going to offer. I think it would be much worse for there to be an empty building standing there for the rest of eternity.
I agree.
You know, it's just it's a crummy situation, and getting angry and hateful about it over the wrong reasons is, I think, the wrong way to react.
I think I read somewhere that some of the backlash is that Cinemark didn't reach out when things went down initially, and now they're only reaching out now that they want to reopen their theater and promote that it's open again. Like, they're exploiting it that way, but also at the same time, like, I understand that they can't really contact the families at the time, because if they say anything wrong, they could get sued.
I don't know.
So that's probably why they didn't reach out initially.
Yeah, I don't even know what could they have done. What, you know,
Yeah, it sounds horrible. It's
offered
not.
more free movies
I mean,
back
it's
in
not
July.
Cinema.
No.
It's not,
That's really offensive.
It's not Cinemark's fault.
No,
it's
no. And it's not the fault of anybody who worked there
No.
or anybody who designed that bill. It's not.
But it's only one person, so
yeah, and that's why it feels like if we let that grow into anything more than simply the grief over having something really horrible happen to us, then that guy achieved something that's what he was out to do. So anyway, all of this is to say, don't even listen to us. Go read Tom Sullivan's article. You can find it on our Facebook page. You can find it on the Denver Post. It's fantastic. Really moving. A great guy. Go listen to our interview as well. And then, think about things. And even if you don't want to go, that's cool. But don't be mad about it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless of my stance, I just wouldn't feel comfortable going there. So that's a hurdle they have to overcome.
Oh, absolutely.
It's open, but who wants to really go?
Yeah, which
that theater.
is a fine way to look at it. But I don't think getting mad about it or writing hateful letters to anybody is the right way to react. But again, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to grieve. But anyway, that's the saddest news we've ever done.
James is really good at sad news.
Yeah.
Is that all the news?
Yeah, it's pretty much all the news.
Everyone's on vacation.
Yeah, there really is.
Working stiffs like us have to work
Yeah.
during holidays, but
there's
doesn't.
a Red Band trailer for The Evil Dead that came out today. Oh, you got to check that out.
It's awesome.
It's so creepy.
The little monologue that lady has is intense at the beginning.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, check it out.
It looks terrible.
Really excited for that movie. Didn't think I would be, but I am.
Really?
Yeah, I'm always hesitant because I thought they might, make it wussy or something, but they're not.
That's definitely not what they're doing.
So I should have known better.
The problem might go the other way.
Because Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are both executive producers on it, so I should have known better. Cool. So it's comic book corner time.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
This week, I did it. I did it the previous week, but I'm going to do it again this week because.
Can I do it?
Do you have one?
I have one, yeah.
Dude, yeah.
I have a great recommendation, but...
Fine, fuck. The end of Amazing Spider-Man happened, but yeah, let's listen to Brad's. Mic drop.
Didn't you talk about that like 3 weeks ago?
End of Amazing Spider-Man is shit.
Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
No, it's fine. That's pretty important.
No, go ahead. No. I wrote an article about it. Go ahead.
I was just going to recommend your Christmas present to me, which was Batman Earth 1.
Oh, nice.
Graphic novel by Jeff Johns and... sorry.
Gary Frank, was it?
Gary Frank. Thank you. It's a self-contained tale of a different origin story for Bruce Wayne, Batman. That was surprisingly really I started reading it and I was just sucked into it. I couldn't put it down.
Nice.
I didn't think another retelling in a different way of Batman's origin. It's not dramatically different, but the way they weave in characters like Oswald Cobblepot is the mayor of Gotham at the time, and he is actually directly connected to Bruce Wayne's parents being murdered. And Alfred isn't just a butler; he's a friend of Thomas Wayne, and he's got the British military background, and the way he's adopts Bruce Wayne, and he doesn't have a very good relationship with him growing up either. They're really at odds most of the time. And then there's this great reveal as to why Alfred's rocking a cane in the book. What else? It begins with Batman's first costume and all the failures it has while he's trying to chase down a certain character. It was really engrossing, and the unraveling the mystery of it's not just Bruce Wayne's parents weren't just a random death. It is pretty orchestrated at the highest levels of Gotham. And I forget. I feel bad saying I forget because it's such a good story. But Jim Gordon's role in helping him unravel it. Oh, and Harvey Dent. Oh, actually, probably the greatest thing is they put Harvey Bullock in it as
Harvey Bullock.
Harvey Bullock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's in the story as a former television show host who, for like crime mysteries or something, he's a big celebrity, jackass, like very arrogant, pompous guy. He transfers to Gotham PD and becomes Jim Gordon's partner. And as he unravels the mystery, the climax makes him so jaded it drives him to drinking. And so you can see like how he becomes like the fat, slobby,
cool,
cynical cop. Like it doesn't get to that point in the book, but you can see, knowing his character from the comics and everything in the animated series, like where it's going to go, like how this drives to it. Because the kidnapping of girls. Oh yeah, and Barbara Gordon's in it, and it's kind of does her origin as Batgirl a little bit, but she's involved in the kidnapping of, like, she gets kidnapped as part of like the kidnapped girls who were slain and stuff, and it's pretty dark stuff.
Cool. I almost picked up because there's a animated film version of it as well now.
Of Earth One?
No, sorry, I'm thinking a Year One. There's a
Year One, yeah.
I think they're making an Earth One as well.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was really well received. I picked it up for you because it got graphic novel of the year on IGN.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I was like, I'll get it. And you like Batman. And I'm glad it was good. It didn't seem like it was that long, but there was that much story in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it long?
That's cool.
It seemed really thin.
Yeah, it's thin, but like, I don't know, the way it's laid out, and it just seemed. I read comics fast too, so
yeah,
it was jam packed with. I guess there's a lot of flashbacks and stuff, and so maybe that's it. Seems like it. But yeah, highly recommended.
Cool.
You should just do yours too. I don't know.
No, it's all right. It's whatever.
It's Spider-Man 700 and something I'm sure you've been dying to complain about. Just fucking do it.
Jeez, wow. Yeah. I'm actually gonna not recommend Spider-Man 700.
What?
Oh, a surprise.
Only because, I mean, if you want to read the bastardization of a total Spider-Man character that is Spider-Man, then go ahead and read Spider-Man 700. My biggest problem with it, and I kind of mentioned in an article I wrote, is Dan Slott is so in love with the character of Otto Octavius that I actually I said how the story was going to end before it ended, because I was reading, they changed it to not Amazing anymore, it's called, the new title, Superior Spider-Man, and the way he was, I guess I should have the story. Anyways, Doc Ock is dying, and his previous endgame, which was like 10 issues before this, was he was going to kill millions of people, and he was doing this by heating up the ultraviolet rays of the sun and make people melt, basically. Spider-Man stops him, but and he, instead of letting Doc Ock die, Spider-Man, he doesn't do that. He saves the dying doctor and he puts him in the super villain prison. Well, Doc Ock has a last endgame where he sends out a little Octobot, which is a little octopus robot, and it's able to switch his brain with Peter Parker's brain. So Peter Parker is in Doc Ock, like his brain's in Doc Ock. So basically Peter Parker is inside of Dr. Octopus's dying body.
And not the physical brain itself, it's just like the memories.
Yeah. It's like a memory transplant.
All of the stuff that makes you who you are.
Exactly. So now Peter Parker is actually Otto Octavius, and Otto Octavius is actually Peter Parker in their mind. So Peter figures out that he can break out of this prison by getting a bunch of villains to help him. And I mean, the premise is interesting, and but I don't like Doc Ock for the first two parts of this 3-part thing is trying to get to sleep with Mary Jane again, because he thinks that Peter couldn't believe that this model like Mary Jane isn't going to sleep with it. He turned her down. And so it's really weird because it's basically like I don't want to say rape, but he's using Peter Parker's memories and her vulnerability towards Peter to get in her pants. It's a really weird...
That's skeezy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so Peter develops... He's like, I'm as smart as Doc Ock, so I'm going to develop the same thing. I'm going to take the one he used, I'm going to bust out of here, I'm going to find him, and we're going to switch brains again. And so there's this huge battle, and Doc Ock as Spider-Man. There's a couple moments I do like. I do like that Doc Ock as Spider-Man realizes that Spider-Man was always holding back. Like, he would never use the full breadth of his strength or his powers because he knew that if he punched someone as hard as he could, it seriously hurt him. In the book, Doc Ock as Spider-Man punches a scorpion so hard his jaw gets punched off. So,
dude,
yeah. So I mean, stuff like that's interesting because it's showing how good of a character Peter is that he would never use his powers to be superior over everybody else.
He was holding back
exactly. So there's this big battle between decrepit Peter Parker as Doc Ock and superior Spider-Man, and they're fighting, and the Octobot gets on the back of Doc Ock, but Dr. Octopus has realized that Peter might do that, so he put some adamantium plate in the back, so the Octobot couldn't get through. So Peter falls down and he's dying, and Peter realizes that he's beat, and he tells Doc Ock that now that you have all my memories, you have to carry on. You have to carry on the Spider-Man name because I've worked too hard to make me who I am for you to ruin it.
But why would Doc Ock do that?
Exactly.
What?
He has no reason to do it, and so in 3 pages they flash back Peter's life, but with Doc Ock in his life, and in 3 pages he goes from, I don't know, in comic book time a week ago, going to murder millions of people, to all of a sudden deciding he's going to be a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker. And it's horrible. So Peter Parker dies, not as a hero, by the way. He dies as a decrepit old fart and just dies. And what really was insulting to me is, one, that they're making Dr. Octopus Spider-Man, but 2, that he says, I'll be a better Spider-Man. I'll be a better, stronger, faster, smarter, yada, yada, yada. I'll be a superior Spider-Man. And to me, it's just a total shit on the character of Peter Parker. Because now you're going to have to deal with some guy who's so arrogant, and it's horrible. Some people like the idea of, changing it up and with the story potential. That's fine. Why can't they just do a miniseries? Why are they killing Peter Parker because Dan Slott has a hard-on for Otto Octavius? Because he's basically written the Amazing Spider-Man for 100 issues.
Yeah.
And every major arc with a villain deals with Dr. Octopus. So 600 had Doc Ock in it. And then all these other ones had Doc Ock, Doc Ock, Doc Ock, Doc Ock. Which is whatever, that's fine, but
yeah, he's a cool, iconic villain, but
he is he's a villain. And you're going to tell me in a course of 3 pages you're going to go from I'm going to murder millions of people that I understand Spider-Man's burden? It sucks.
Yeah, that's shitty.
So
hopefully they'll redo it a year from now.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I mean
they have an easy out because Peter actually didn't die because his body's still around.
Oh yeah.
So
they just gotta
I'm sure as soon as Doctor Strange figures it out, he'll figure something.
Yeah. No, I pulled your brain out of the ether and shoved it in the back of your head.
So right now it upset me. I just don't like, because he's the most popular character they have, and for some reason they love just shitting on him. Whether it's having him being killed a while ago by a guy named Morlun, who's inconsequential. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Exactly.
Never heard of Morlun.
The Clone Saga, which was just a mess.
Yeah.
Dissolving his marriage because he made a deal with the devil, which is something Peter Parker would never do. Again, they just do these things for convenience. They don't do it for character reasons, and that's what makes me mad.
Yeah, and it's the wrong idea. It's the wrong way of looking at, we're not making interesting stories anymore, so clearly it's with the canon and not just the fact that we're not coming up with cool ideas.
Exactly. Or you could have a story where
risks.
The Dark Knight Rises, where Batman dies as a hero,
Yeah.
Even though people hate him, he still flies the bomb off.
Yeah.
Spider-Man dies in Doc Ock's dying body.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Of the horrible karma-driven leukemia that was eating away his body because he was a horrible person. Yeah, no. It's a horror. Yeah, it's awful.
So yeah. Anyways, don't get it. And you probably can't anyways. It's all sold out everywhere. But
Oh shoot, because I didn't pick up a copy.
Well, I have 2 copies. You can have the non-variant cover.
No, that's all right. I might lose one in my garbage can.
Anyways, finally, we're getting to the movie we saw this week.
Oh, man.
And you guys are...
Sorry, guys. My bad.
Our listeners have been hitting hardcore for our review of Texas Chainsaw 3D, what we saw in 2D. Brad, should people go see Texas Chainsaw 3D?
Nope.
James?
If you're like me and you don't like slasher films... but you do like giant piles of shit, then yeah, you should definitely go see this movie. And hell, see it in 3D because fuck, it's bad.
Yeah, for someone who loves slasher movies, this movie was horrible. Anyways, if you want to listen to the trailer, you can just skip ahead like a minute and a half, and here's the trailer.
Beast in me.
Did you know anything about this place?
Just the address.
Is caged by frail and fragile bars.
Wow.
Restless by day and by night, rants and rages.
Look like Granny likes to play a little pool. What exactly did Granny do for a living?
I have no idea. I just learned about her yesterday.
The beast in me. God help the beast in me.
I mean, there's so many. You don't even know where to start with this movie, because one, you're taking an iconic villain in Leatherface, and I mean, I don't mind. I thought the premise was interesting, where they set up it takes place immediately after the events of the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It starts that way. It jumps forward.
It does,
future,
and it doesn't make sense. Okay, so
no.
So it takes place in 1974, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then the townsfolk find out that the Sawyer family are killing people or whatever, so they show up and they exact their revenge. They kill everybody. Leatherface doesn't die, surprisingly. Flash forward to 40 years in the future, so Leatherface would be 70.
2012.
Mm-hmm.
2012, 70.
And if someone were born the year that movie was made,
they'd be
then
39.
they'd be like 38, 39 by now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the lead actress is 23, 24.
Well, she wasn't a baby when Oh, she was. That's right.
Yeah, she's a baby. So right away, it makes no sense. And actually, I knew we were in trouble. I mean, sometimes I can forgive horror movies for horrible acting and horrible writing.
Which there's plenty of in this movie.
Yeah, but as the credits were going, and I'm watching it, I see Greg Nicotero as, the makeup, and then the story comes up, and the story is by a guy named Adam Marcus. Now, as a fan of Friday the 13th movies, my least favorite movie is Jason Goes to Hell, which is written and directed by a guy named Adam Marcus. So I says, this movie is going to be stupid.
This is going to be awkward when we go to another horror fest and Adam Marcus
is there. If Adam Marcus is there, I will sit down and I will have...
He'll come by our booth and be like, hey, Real Nerds, I want to be on your show. And like, oh shit.
Didn't you say Bill Moseley was in this movie?
Yeah,
Where was Bill Moseley in the movie?
He was the guy at the beginning who was the leader of the Sawyer clan.
Yeah.
Oh, like the father?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, to answer your question, if Adam Marcus was on there, I would sit him down and I would talk to him about how shitty his movie is. I would not kiss his ass. I'd say, dude. Anyways, it's a different movie.
What's up, Real Nerds? So did you guys like Jason Goes to Hell?
Fuck no. It's the worst Friday 13th movie ever.
What? Why would you say that?
Because it's a horrible movie.
Why?
Because you don't know how to direct or write.
Anyway.
Well, what about my writing or directing is unsatisfactory?
Well, one, your logic makes no sense. You have a huge exposition
scene
in a cell.
Can you cite specific examples for me?
Yeah, exactly. I can quote the whole movie if you like. and your commentary is insulting. Anyways, so in this movie, so I knew I was in trouble. And then when the sheriff showed up and he was spouting off those
as soon as the
horrible
dialogue
lines,
starts, I knew I was going to have fun. Oh, man, because it's bad.
It's bad. It's horrible. And then the premise of the movie doesn't make any sense right away.
Yeah.
Because if it takes place in present time, all these people would be like 90 years old.
Middle of the day, they shoot up his house, burn it to the ground. Somehow the retarded kid escapes. Just saying.
And the police just write it off as, well, they had it coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in fact, the guy who...
This is unlawful,
the guy who
but...
leads the mob, mayor of the town now.
Yeah. And it's so stupid. And I hate... A lot of times, sometimes it works. In Freddy vs. Jason, when they make Jason sympathetic because of what Freddy does to him, works. They don't make Jason, the character, sympathetic. They make the situation that he's stuck in sympathetic, that he was a little boy who drowned, not the monster that he's become.
Yeah. And in that case, there's also like another worse villain there, or another villain there that you can sort of pit him against, so then it's okay.
Exactly. They try to make Leatherface sympathetic in this, and I mean,
that's not something you want to do to a scary character.
No, and he's not scary at all.
It really, yeah. He's never terrible. And
Did I mention a lot of this movie's hilarious?
Oh yeah,
like when people are running away in terror and you're laughing because they're falling down.
Oh man, or it's just like every other horror movie where they have the worst ideas ever. I sort of twisted my ankle when I fell down those stairs, and so now I'm gonna hide in this grave because that's gonna
the grave that obviously he dug up, so he knows it's like if I put the coffin lid back on,
that's right. What was his
I'm in there
for digging up that grave. I guess because he wanted that lady to be around. The person
he wanted to prop up the old lady.
So
in her room,
so it would be scary.
But it's not scary.
No, it's not. No,
it's just
never
horribly
scary.
done. I mean, and you can't. I mean, the pacing of the movie is. And the dialogue, I don't know if you can really fault the director. I mean, what's he going to do with the shit he's given? You know what I mean?
It's not like it's horribly directed because there's nothing. Well,
he could always go in and just change it. But
there is a lot of like nonsense 3D, like in the coffin thing, where there's a really long sequence of the chainsaw coming directly at us, which I can't imagine looks cool in 3D.
No,
especially because there's credits in there about
and
3D
it's so
conversion,
dark,
so it doesn't look like it's actually 3D.
One of the things with 3D, it looks so much better when it's bright.
Yeah.
And it was so dark, I don't think the effect would be that effective.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But back to the plot. So there's this baby.
Yeah, so this baby is picked up by these people who murdered her family, and she grows up to be this really hot butcher
she was really hot.
At a grocery store. And dude, the first time you see her friend and she spouts off dialogue.
Next time Santa wants to give me, look at my chest. Oh my God, it's the worst.
It is. I don't even know. And so they're going to go to New Orleans for a party, and then she finds out she's inherited the Sawyer huge house from her grandmother, who
Sawyer mansion. Yeah.
She's never met and doesn't know who she is. And then they have this really horrible confrontational scene with her adoptive parents.
So she goes to her parents, and she says and she finds out this thing about her being adopted, and she goes home, and there's this really long, horribly long sequence of her walking up the stairs really slowly as we have a view of her as she bounces up and down up the stairs. We don't need to see that. But anyway, she walks in.
I enjoyed it.
And her friends are there, and they have already decided that they're going to go see this mansion instead. She, as far as we know, she just got home, but somehow
and she just found out about the mansion, right?
Yeah, miraculously they all know, and they have already communed and decided they're gonna road trip to Texas. Like, it's that kind of just nonsense.
You know what's so funny about Adam Marcus's scripts is he literally just has this nonsense for convenience.
Yeah.
In Jason Goes to Hell, it was a scene where he's having in a jail cell where one of the guys was telling him the whole plot of the movie without actually showing what the plot of the movie was. And in this movie,
it happens twice.
Exactly. It's the same thing. He's a horrible writer because he looks for like the exposition scenes he uses as advancing the plot, which is fine, but not when she's walking up the stairs and like, oh, she wants to go to Texas.
Well, and advancing the plot and completely spelling it out as if we don't know. Because there's a sequence about halfway through after everybody has died where she's at the police station and there's this box of evidence. It says evidence really big on it. And she opens it up and it's just newspaper clippings, which is not evidence. That's actually the opposite of evidence.
It is.
That's
but,
hearsay.
Dude, you skipped over the part where after she gets out of the grave and she runs through a crowded carnival with a bunch of people. And
who apparently don't notice real chainsaws sounds.
Leatherface is chasing her. She's running from him.
He just cut through a fence where people are maybe 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people, right?
Yeah.
And she's running from him, and no one's helping her. They just part ways and let him
No one's
chase
even
her.
turning and looking. They're all like...
Which could be... I thought it could be a terrifying scene, literally. If he came through and he was just butchering people...
Yeah.
Trying
like
to get
Jason
to him,
and Freddy versus Jason at the party, the rave party.
Like, he's just going through butchering people, trying to get to her. That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they make Leatherface not scary in this movie.
Yeah.
He even does a showdown with a guy dressed up like Saw, like with the pig head, and then they don't fight at all. Like he just lets him go and run off.
It's like getting a blowjob, and then when you're about to come, they just like, oh, you're done. It's like that's all it is.
It was not. It wasn't even like that because that's
enjoyable.
At least somebody's touching you. Like this is not anywhere near that.
No,
because here's the thing. Like even if you are somebody who really likes slasher films, the first person who gets killed just gets smacked in the face with a hammer. It's just a jump scare. It's not creative at all. One guy dies in a car crash. Not even by the crazy murderer dude. The chick. Do we ever see her die?
Yeah, she got shot in the face.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. That might be the most interesting
Leatherface
thing
killed 3 people in this movie.
Yeah.
You know what else I realized is when he's at the carnival and he's waiting for her to come, like the main character to come back down around from the carousel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's carousel?
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. And so that young cop is staring him down, and then later we find out that he is the son of the mayor.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know about Leatherface, so why wouldn't he just shoot him there?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Well, he threw the chainsaw at him in 3D, duh.
But you don't... When there's a guy at a carnival with a giant chainsaw and he's swinging it at people, you don't say, put the chainsaw down or I'm going to shoot you. You just shoot that guy.
And he doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Is like, he also knows the backstory. Like, there's a guy with a chainsaw that my dad probably told me about at some point in my life.
Yeah.
Well, he had to have because he would have to at some point, right? Because he knows... Because when he picks her up later... He's like, I hate those Sawyers.
Yeah.
He would know who Leatherface is.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily know that she is one, but still, like...
But he knows that he is, and would he kill him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right then and there. Like, you just
because at some point,
down.
you know, like, when he was a kid, his dad was bragging about, like, oh, man, one time I
He's
burned
local
down
heroes.
these people's house. Yeah, exactly. Like, he thinks he's a butch, like, awesome dude.
But that guy you said was dead is alive. I should probably mow him down right now.
Yeah, because then my daddy will really like me, and then I could totally bang that chick.
Okay. The most excruciating sequence, though, I think, and let me know if I'm wrong, is when the cop who he's on the phone with the sheriff, and the cop FaceTimes with the sheriff and the mayor and is slowly following the trail of blood back into the house, and it feels like it's 15 minutes long and nothing comes from it. It's just like, oh, we're just slowly going through the house,
and all he focuses on with the phone is the trail of blood.
Yeah, well, and,
like there's no other evidence in the house to focus on,
and we're just revisiting things we've already seen. Like we're revisiting like the fingers in the bowl and all of that stuff. We've seen all that stuff. It's not scary.
And it's, maybe this is a director's fault. It's not suspenseful at all.
No.
I mean, that's what it's trying to be, but it's so poorly done.
I'm not thinking about suspense. I'm just thinking about, like, is this procedure for most cops? Like, now we have iPhones, you can record your process.
Again, it takes place 40 years later, and that cop was in the picture, and the cop looks like he's 47.
The sheriff and the mayor have not aged at all.
Yeah.
Like, they are old in the past, and they are still old. One of them has shaved his head. Because times have changed. It's not the 70s, so we don't have afros anymore. Like it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And when you're making the movie, don't you? Well, again, I'm going to bring up Adam Marcus, but don't you realize that that's what's happening in it? You don't. If I was a director and I was reading that script, I'd be like, this doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
Well, and they could have pulled it off if they had made it, like if they had set it 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But because they aren't paying any attention, I don't know if you noticed how shittily made the tombstones were, where they looked like they were made with plywood and some like year-old cement was thrown into it. But they said 2012 on the headstones, where you're going like, why didn't you just like say that it was 1994 and it would have been fine? Like,
except for the cell phone.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, or 1998, which still cell phones. But
yeah, they're smartphones. They had FaceTime.
No,
so.
I know. I know, but I'm saying, like, pick a time where that's not that far back. It wouldn't cost you that much money to try and make it look like it was old-timey or what,
Or don't use the footage from the beginning of the first movie.
Yeah.
Don't use the original Chainsaw Massacre footage.
But more importantly, where it goes is this girl is now grown up and finds out she's a Sawyer and basically befriends Leatherface, and then
they team up.
Yeah, at the end, she throws him his chainsaw and goes, "Do your thing, cuz," which is the worst line. And then like she basically, she kills one dude, at just one, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
She stabs him with a pitchfork.
Yeah,
and then
why doesn't she hit the power at that point?
Exactly.
to stop.
Yeah,
to save Leatherface.
Oh my God,
no,
yes.
she's yeah.
So Leatherface is then terrorizing the mayor, and then the cop shows up again. And instead of doing his civic duty as a police officer, he's, the mayor's bad, just kill him.
Well, he's conflicted because the mayor is bad.
He is.
At that point, the mayor's a bad person.
I started saying that like as you were saying it, so you completed my thought before I got there. Sorry.
That's okay, but you know what I mean, though? Even if the mayor's bad, isn't Leatherface worse? And you just let him live.
Yeah.
Well, but then
he won't cause any more problems.
He won't come after me.
Then there's this moment where like Leatherface stands there for a while, and I'm thinking, dude, maybe they're gonna go all the way, and Leatherface is just gonna throw himself into that thing because he's like, oh man, I'm stupid and I'm not scary anymore, and nobody really wants to see more of these movies. Why don't I mean, where I've done my duty and I killed the mayor, whatever. I'm just gonna jump in there and be dead. And I thought, okay, I don't like what you did, but then that would at least be like, okay, that's a completion of that sort of arc where he becomes really sympathetic. But then they don't do that. He just goes home and she makes him sandwiches.
Yep.
And how about the CGI on the mayor getting chewed up?
Oh my gosh.
I've seen better CGI in like rip-off shark movies.
It's horrible.
Oh man.
It's disappointing.
Leatherface has really cool pants though.
Film face.
I mean, that's a
completely
cool poster.
CGI.
Yeah.
Chum.
The problem is on the poster it says in 1974 one movie changed their face of horror. In 2013 a new dark chapter begins.
And so he cuts off the face of the cop that he murders at the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that cop is actually still kind of alive. And then suddenly within minutes that face is dried and he sews it together.
Yeah.
Like it's completely moistureless leather.
Yeah.
In the span of a few minutes.
Well, maybe he has a really good smoker.
Which was that supposed to be scary? Like he sews it onto his face? Like that's supposed to be.
But it was horrible.
It just was shot ugly. It just doesn't look good. Oh man.
Anyways,
my favorite moment though is that at one point they're driving their car and they drive past an armadillo that's dead on the side of the road. But it doesn't look like roadkill. What it looks like is some kind of video game character. When you hop on top of it, it dies by just flipping over onto its back because it's clearly just a taxidermied armadillo that they've sat upside down.
there is a Koopling in Mario 3 that if you jump on it, it like flips over like that. Then you have to jump on it again. So
yeah, it's exactly like that. They really think that like when something dies, its eyes turn into X's and it flips onto its back. Like that's how stupid the people in charge of this movie must be. Oh man, or at least how stupid they think we are for going to see it.
Yep,
I had a good time.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
I enjoyed watching that chick's midsection.
Yeah,
throughout the movie. That was nice.
Then like she just suddenly is braless and
gets her shirt ripped off just enough so Leatherface can see the Sawyer. Not even the whole like crest burned into her, just like the little part.
And then it ends up just being creepy because then it's a scene of like a whole lot of cleavage and her tied up and just like moaning and screaming, and it's
and you see no nip. What's that about?
Yeah, the shirt is conveniently covering in every situation.
Yeah.
It's lame. I want to see tits.
It wouldn't have made this movie watchable.
No, next week we're seeing Zero Dark 30.
Sorry. Also, when he hangs that guy on the meat hooks, and then he gets all angry, and then he cuts him in half.
Yes.
And apparently, his upper organs don't just fall out; they stay crammed in there.
When they're clearly made of plaster, no, they don't. Even the clothes looks like they were just like glued together.
It's Greg Nicotero, right?
Yeah.
Sure, he has a
but shame
well-rounded
on
sense
him.
of anatomy.
I don't think he was trying.
What me and
was
James
involved.
are talking about, maybe it was just his studio because he was busy
doing Walking Dead.
It
Walking
really
Dead.
doesn't look like when you see under that guy's face, that looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like when Buffy did it 10, 15 years ago.
That's right.
10 years ago. No, that's not. It's not good.
I agree.
So we're seeing Zero Dark 30 and not Gangster Squad?
I think we might try to see them both.
Try seeing both.
I mean, I it's either that or we see one, and then the next week, instead of seeing The Last Stand, we see the other. But
I want to see The Last Stand.
I kind of want to see The Last Stand.
Yeah, I think we're seeing The Last Stand.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger.
In Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger in his first starring role since Terminator 3.
And I definitely don't want to not see Gangster Squad. I would almost postpone Zero Dark 30 before I would postpone Gangster Squad. That's how much I care. So,
either way, you can tweet us, real_nerds. You can follow us on Twitter. I just said that part.
Facebook.
Facebook us. Like us on Facebook. Over 100 likes this we got up to.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for liking us.
Tell your friends.
Even if you don't like us. Thanks for liking our page, then. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can email us, realnerds@gmail.com. You can call us, 720-6nerds5. Make sure you just hit us up. Next week, we'll see a movie, Gangster Squad or Zero Dark 30 or both.
Either way, it'll be a whole lot more fun than this week's was.
Hopefully. Maybe Gangster Squad isn't as good.
No.
Maybe they both suck.
Yeah.
No.
We don't know.
We don't know. You'll have to
find
tune
out.
in next week. Bye.
Bye.